what's up, YouTube? Man, it's your boy Ashton Jackson. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the preview of the Dallas Cowboys versus Seattle Seahawks. And then I'm also going to be talking about the seeding and why this game is super important for the Dallas Cowboys. So before we hop into the video, I appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment, and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content. So for the main reason as to why this game is super important for the Dallas Cowboys is because virtually, we're talking about seeding now, right? Right now, we're sitting at a record of 8-3 and hoping to improve that record to 9-3 tomorrow night. And the reason why this game is important, like I already said, for seeding purposes, is that more than likely you're not going to be able to win the NFC East. And the reason why you're not going to be able to win the NFC East is because right now Philadelphia is sitting at a record of 10-1. You're sitting at a record of 8-3. So technically, right now you're 3 games behind Philadelphia. If Philadelphia messes around and they win on Sunday against the San Francisco 49ers, no matter how they win, whether it's in a blowout victory, another close game, however the case might be, if they beat the San Francisco 49ers virtually, they'll be up, I think, 4.5 games, 5 games ahead of you in the standings, basically, because they already had beat you head to head. They would have a better divisional record than you. And virtually December 10th won't matter for the Philadelphia Eagles, no matter if they win or lose, because all they got to do is basically win. I think the last, basically they just got to win like a few more games, because if they improve to 11-1, they lose to you December 10th, and they go to 11-2. All they got to do is beat, I think, the Giants, Arizona. So basically, the teams they got left on their schedule after they play San Francisco and Dallas, it's Seattle, the Giants, and then Arizona. So they only got like 4 games, right? So do the math right there. If they win on Sunday, they're already 4.5 games better than you with only 5 games left to go, and you're basically going to be asking them to basically have a Jurassic season where they just lose every single game from here on out, which is virtually impossible the way that Philadelphia has been playing. And honestly, with the Dallas Cowboys, you had your chances to get the number 1 seed. If you break it down, first off, you lost to Arizona week 3. That was a game that you gave up, and that was a game that you took very lightly. And we knew you took that game lightly just the way your offensive line was scrambled, because you didn't have Zach Martin, Tyler Biotish, and then you had Tyron Smith suited up. And he didn't even play. And we were just terrible that day. And then 2 weeks later, October 8th, you went out there and got your butts kicked against the San Francisco 49ers. And then 3 to 4 weeks later, after that San Francisco game that you lost to the Philadelphia Eagles in a game in which you could have won. So you basically blew 2 of your games like how you did last year, you know. So you're the reason why you're possibly again going to have to be that 5th seed, going to have to play the NFC South. And basically, the winner of that Sunday game against the San Francisco 49ers and Eagles, if the Dallas Cowboys take care of business first round against the NFC South opponent, if they win on Thursday, Dallas Cowboys win on Thursday against the Seattle Seahawks. That game on Sunday between Philly and San Francisco will determine who you play in the second round. So let's say right now, if the playoffs ended today, Philadelphia would be 1, San Francisco would be 2, Detroit would be 3, Atlanta would be 4, you would be 5, Seattle 6, Minnesota 7, I believe, right? So right now, let's say you take care of business against Atlanta. There's no upsets between 2 and 3. You would play the Philadelphia Eagles in the divisional round, which will have a better matchup against them than you would the San Francisco 49ers. If the Niners were to win on Sunday and they went out, San Francisco will get the number 1 seed. Philadelphia would go to the 2 seed. Then it'll be Detroit, Atlanta, Dallas. If they win on Thursday, Seattle, and Minnesota. Meaning that, again, if there's barring any major upsets between the 2nd and the 3rd seed, you would have to play the San Francisco 49ers at their house in the second round of the playoffs with them having a week's rest. So honestly, however you look at it, I'm not afraid to play San Francisco. I'm not, but all the Dallas Cowboys coaches and the players, they might be, but me personally, I'm not. I'm not going to get into that with them, but I'm not scared of them. I know we got our butts kicked the last time against them when we lost to them two times in the playoffs, but that's just a team I'm not afraid of. I would love to beat them in the playoffs to get our lick back, and then having to go play Philadelphia at their house and beating them in the championship game and going to Vegas. That would be amazing, right? But I really want the least path of resistance. So it doesn't really matter because, like I already said before in prior videos about Dallas Cowboys wanting to achieve their goal, if you want to achieve your goal, you have to see San Francisco and you have to see Philadelphia. However, which way you want to slice it, which one you see first, which one you see last, it doesn't really matter. But you still got to play both teams, in my opinion, if you want to go to the Super Bowl this year. So Dallas Cowboys need to win on Thursday because if they don't, you fall to 8-4. Seattle improves to 7-5, and there will only be a game behind you. And if you guys both at week 18 end up having the same record, you fall down to the 6th seed. They jump up to the 5th seed. They have an easier opponent than you would. You would end up having to play the 3 seed, whether that is San Francisco, Detroit, barring if you don't, barring if you don't take care of business down the stretch of the road, but because you do have to play Detroit, but it's up to you on how you want your road to be dictated. And I'd rather us win on Thursday, beat Seattle, take care of Philly, win down the rest of your games, and let fate determine what's going to happen. But most importantly, I think you're going to get the 5th seed. I think you're going to play the representative of the NFC South like you did last year, so on and so forth. You'll play the 1st seed more than likely. If there's an upset between the 6th seed or the 7th seed, you'll end up playing uh, the lowest remaining seed, I guess, would be like the 2nd or the 3rd seed you would end up playing, and things of that nature. So enough playoff seeding, talking about the Dallas Cowboys and the Seahawks game. The injury report really seems like everyone's a full go for Thursday night football. Tyrus Wheat was in concussion protocol. He did not practice on Monday. He was a full participant Tuesday and Wednesday. Dante Fowler did not practice, but he was a full participant on Wednesday. And Micah Parsons was same thing. They didn't list the reason as to what happened on Monday, but let me see. He didn't practice on Tuesday, but he was a full participant on Wednesday. And if you guys are wondering about Jaron Curse, he is going to be coming back into the lineup. He said at the game, if I think they asked him on Monday, what's your availability for Thursday? He said, I'm be 200%. He's going to be ready to go. So that's really the injury report for Dallas. I don't know the injury report right now for Seattle. I don't think Seattle has a whole bunch of injuries. I think the only injury they do have is to Kenneth Walker, and they do have him listed as questionable for his oblique injury. But if I'm Seattle, it's tough because you got to play us, then you got to play Philly, and then I don't know really the rest remaining of this. Oh yeah, they do still have to play San Francisco, so it's gonna be tough for them for them to get into the playoffs. So this is gonna be a tough fought matchup. They're not gonna go in lightly because they know that if they lose this game, they're more than likely mathematically going to be eliminated from the playoffs. So this is do or die situation for Seattle, and you will get their best shot because they know that they don't win this game, they're virtually not making the playoffs just because of how tough the remaining of their schedule is. So, really, when talking about that now, ways in which we can beat the Seattle Seahawks is when you got to start out fast. You have to play fast and efficient football. Please don't turn the ball over. Limit your penalties. Of course, you want to get the ball to your playmakers. Um, Slow down their run game because mostly, like every NFL team, if you can get the run game going in the NFL and you can get 4 or 5 yards of carry or 6 yards of carry, depending on how great your offensive line is, it's going to be a very tough time for any NFL team to beat you. But Seattle is one of those teams that when they have their run game going, they're virtually impossible to beat because they can utilize that play action, and they have amazing wide receivers with Jackson Smith, Njigba, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, all three great receivers. And, once they get that play action going, you're going to have those guys on bootlegs. You're going to have them on crossing routes, deep over routes, deep post routes, corner routes. And they have a lot of athletes that can separate and go make the big play. So it's very key that you slow down the run game because if you're able to do that and you make them one dimensional and you force them to throw the ball like what we've been doing all year, that's where most of our blowouts come to is when we speed up your tempo of the game, when we shut down your run game, our offense goes out there, Dak and the offense, they stay efficient. They go out there, they put up a lot of points. Defense get a couple more stops. it ends up being that you're down 2 to 3 possessions, and then now guess what? You play into our strength of our defensive line, and if you have a weak offensive line like Seattle does have, you can go out there and go tear them apart. And really, to that point about going after the passer, of course, pass rush is a privilege. Again, you have to earn the right to pass rush, right? So stop the run. Uh, don't let Zach Charbonnet go off for you for about 10 carries for 120 yards or whatever the case might be. Slow down the run game. Jet sweeps, I like to give it to Tyler Jackson Smith. Shut that down as well, and you'll have a good day, I believe. Dak and the offense keep remaining to stay efficient. You only had 6 days off, so I believe they're still in a rhythm right now, and they've been on fire ever since week 5. And I'm proud of my offense. Keep going, take care of business. Don't let DK and Jason beat you on those deep crossers. Keep sending pressure on Gino. Like I said, if you shut down the run, it'll be easier for you to dictate when he does want to do those play action passes. You'll be able just to hone in and know, hey, we're not going to fall for the run because we've been stopping the run all night. Go after Gino. It'll be easier game. Like I said, it's going to be tough stopping DK Metcalf for sure. He's a 6'4" athlete. Really great receiver. We had a tough time stopping him before, but that was, we had a historically bad defense. So I know things are different now, but still, it's gonna be very tough to stop him. And especially if you don't press him, this is another game where you can't play soft zone. This is another game where you can't have DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith, or Tyler Lockett, the two greater receivers, to not get up in their face and press them. Because if you don't press them, you give them free reign to go out there and make moves. It's going to be a tough day. And like I said, we really got to win this game, especially because if we want to succeed and go play in Vegas possibly, or just even win the division, if that's even a long shot, you must win this game, limit the penalties, move Micah around. The interior of the offensive line is weak, but their weaker side is the right side. That's where DeMarcus Lawrence is going to line up. Hopefully, you can have some stunts where you put D-Law and Mike on the same side and just give that right side hill. Then, most importantly, let's just get out of this game healthy, because once we can get out of this game healthy, we got a 5 tough game stretch where in the 5 games you go, I believe 3 out of the 5 games you're on the road. You're on the road against Washington week 18. You're on the road against Miami and Buffalo back-to-back weeks. I understand you got a home game Thursday. Sunday night, you got a following home game against the Buffalo Eagles, but then 2 straight games. You're going December 17th. You got to play in a blizzard against the Buffalo Bills, and then you got to go next week to Miami, and then you come back home. Ring of Honor, you're going to induct Jimmy Johnson, take care of business against the Detroit Lions, and then to finish out the season, you got the Washington Commanders, and hopefully that ends up in a game to where you don't have to play your starters. You can pull everybody out because you'll either have the 1st seed or the 5th seed. So that's about it for the video. Again, if the Dallas Cowboys wants to at least remain the 5th seed, they must win this game. And also the Philadelphia game. It depends on who you want to play in the second round. Do you want to play Frisco? If you want to play Frisco in the second round, you're pulling for San Francisco on Sunday. If you want to play Philly, you're pulling for Philly on Sunday. And really, for the keys of the way to beat Seattle, start off fast and efficient. Slow down the run game. That's what keeps any NFL team balanced. Stop the run game. Don't have Zach Charbonnet go crazy for you against you. Dak and the offense must stay efficient. Give the ball to your playmakers. We already know who they are at this point. I don't need to keep reiterating that. Don't let DK Metcalf and JSN beat you on those deep crossers. That's what really beats us and kills us in man concepts, is those crossers and those corner routes. Send pressure on Geno Smith. Uh, Move Micah around. He's a playmaker. Treat Micah how you would CD. You put CD in the slot. You put him on the outside. Do that with Micah. Limit your penalties. Get out of this game healthy, please, because we need all hands on deck. We need everybody for this stretch to go to Vegas. That's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.